The story of Wall Street bets and GameStop is kind of a complicated one. So let me give you the simplified version before we get started. Regular people are rising up and with their combined power through a decentralized network on the internet are taking down massive hedge funds. And perhaps, maybe the first time in history, we are seeing a transfer of wealth from Wall Street to Main Street. Hedge funds who bet against companies planning on their demise are now being crushed with near infinite losses and are becoming desperate. How? A bunch of people on the internet we're sick and tired of market manipulators and corrupt media playing crony games, making money off our backs, shorting, taking money from regular people with manipulation, with panic, with fear. And so they just all got together and bought some stonks. That's the meme for stocks, I guess. I don't know. Don't look at me. I'm not cool enough to understand what stonks is all about. Just a meme, I guess. Even Elon Musk is tweeting about it. Let me try and make it really, really simple before we read this so you can just generally understand what's going on. GameStop. I'm sure you've heard. Their stock is worth an absurd amount of money right now, and a lot of people think it makes no sense. Some people are saying GameStop should be worth less than $10, maybe $50, but it's currently trading at like $300, and it is just skyrocketing endlessly. And the reason? Well, a bunch of people just got checks for $600. A bunch of people might get a check for $1,400. And while most people probably need that to pay their bills, there are a decent amount of very bored people, very angry with the system that is stripping wealth away from the working class, who banded together to destroy hedge funds that were betting against some of these companies. Let me read a little bit of what's happening with Business Insider and try and make sure you just really understand this. But to put it simply, Occupy Wall Street had the wrong strategy. Showing up to physical Wall Street and waving your sign around, let's be real. Even back then, about 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, most of this trading was being done online. It was shifting, and now it's just an online environment. Physically protesting in New York wasn't going to change anything. I mean, people protested all across the country, but it's not going to have a real impact. Waving a little sign and saying rabble, rabble, rabble only does so much. Then they injected identity politics into it. Everybody started fighting. Now I'm seeing right-wing, left-wing, Bitcoiners, libertarians, anarchists, Antifa, everybody cheering on Wall Street Bets, a forum on Reddit that is absolutely destroying these hedge funds. Now, there's reports that NASDAQ wants to stop trading. There are people on CNBC are saying this is dangerous what they're doing. Aw, poor babies, you're going to lose all your money. You know, Nancy Pelosi bought a bunch of Tesla stock, something like that. It was like long calls. I'm not super, stock. I'm not a stock kind of person, so I can't tell you all the details. But suffice it to say, Nancy Pelosi placed a big old bet on Tesla, and now Joe Biden's announcing that he's swapping out the entire fleet for electric cars. Oh, surprise, surprise. Now, look, I'm not here to accuse Nancy Pelosi of, knowing what was going to happen. I think it's fair to say a bet on Tesla was probably good. But we're also seeing Elon Musk, owner of Tesla, tweeting out game stonks, cheering this on. And one thing I saw was that people were saying the reason Elon Musk is doing this is because these hedge funds called Melvin Capital, I think it's Melvin Capital, shorted Tesla. So when you short, it's basically like this. You ever go to a casino and play craps? Maybe you haven't. I know a lot of people haven't. Craps is so much fun. But there's something called the pass line and the don't pass line. So when you walk up, typically the first bet people are going to make is on the pass line. When you make that bet, you are saying, I think the dude rolling the die is going to win. It's a decent bet. It's almost 50-50, but there's a better bet. You could bet on don't pass. And that means you're betting the shooter, the guy rolling the dice, I think that's what they call it, is going to lose. And it is a better bet, but people get really mad when you do it. Could you imagine you're having a good time and someone walks up and says, you're going to lose now? You'd be like, dude, you're killing the vibe. You know what I mean? But you can make the bet. The way short selling works, and I'm not a complete expert, but what's happening is these hedge funds are betting on these companies losing, and that's what they do. Then they go on TV and they say all of these companies are failures. When regular people panic sell and it kills the stock, that's when they make their money. Recently, my friends, we saw Bitcoin skyrocket, hit 40K. And I've had some Bitcoin for a long time. I'm not Bitcoin rich. Some people claiming that I'm probably a Bitcoin. I wish, dude. I've known about Bitcoin since 2011. I could have bought it at 70 cents and I just never did Should have bought in even at 200. Never did. Hit 40K. Then a bunch of stories popped up. Investors could lose everything in Bitcoin. And I knew what was going on. The media manipulators, the liars and the deceivers are trying to steal from you. I'm not here to give you financial advice. None of this is financial advice. I'm just telling you how I feel. All right? I saw these stories claiming that Bitcoin was going to crash and people would lose everything. And they always do this. You know why? Because regular people don't know. And they get scared. And those that control the media manipulate what you think, make you panic, and then you sell. So I had people telling me when it hit 40K, it started to fall down, hit like $34,000 per Bitcoin. And I'm like, dude, everybody who's got Bitcoin knows its value. Or I shouldn't say not everybody. Most people promoting Bitcoin know that it's going to be way, way bigger. And I saw a bunch of people saying it's going to collapse. You're stupid. You're buying at the top. Don't do it. Don't do it. The Bitcoin's down a bit today. And I said, no, I'm not dumb. Look, don't take advice from me because it is down. But this is not financial advice. Do not listen to me in terms of, make your own decisions. But the point I'm making is the media manipulators will tell you that something bad is happening. So you panic and sell and lose money. When Bitcoin hit 20K before, people were like mortgaging their homes to buy it. Not a smart thing to do, mind you. But then when it fell down to like 7K, people are like, oh no, I've lost everything. And they sold out. What happens then is the manipulators, the wealthy, the people with assets to throw around because they don't care if they lose $1 million here or there, bought it all up for pennies on the dollar. And now it hit 40K and they laughed all the way to the bank. They used the media to manipulate you. Let me read a little bit of this story and I'll read you where we are so far. But let me just say, reading this news, there's a lot that I probably don't understand about this. So Wall Street Bets, with all due respect, I'll try my best, but I'm probably going to get some stuff wrong. But it is incredible to see that these dudes, these people on the internet, have essentially got the right and the left cheering and clapping. We are of, for, and by the people. I mean, whatever this group is, we believe in the working class and the regular people. And now through the power of the internet, we can band together and we are more powerful than the media manipulators and the elitists who would steal from us. I have been complaining all year about the largest transfer of wealth from the working class to the upper class through this COVID lockdown. And this is some reprieve, I suppose. Let me see what Business Insider breaks it down. They say, like Bitcoin, Tesla, and the SPAC IPO, Wall Street Bets grew exponentially in 2020. In the first weeks of 2021, the forum discovered just how strong it had become. The subreddit subscriber count ballooned by 133% to 1.8 million members over the course of last year. Growth accelerated further this month, and the forum's 2.2 million current members now drive one of the platform's most active pages. Members have spent the past 3 weeks bidding up GameStop. Okay, GameStop, I'm sure you know, it's a brick and mortar game store. I personally don't think they're going to, survive the transition. Most people don't. Maybe this now is an opportunity to do so because they probably just made a ton of money. And some people actually think, to be fair, that if GameStop figures out how to enter the digital marketplace using their brand power, they will become the premier gaming location. Now, my personal opinion, I think, for one, GameStop should create something like Steam, an online game portal system. They better get started soon. It might be too late. But with these brick and mortar shops, I think they should do straight gaming events. The opportunity is not selling products to people at this point. It's memberships and it's events, having people come in for competitions, having people come in to play with their friends, meet new people. That's where it's at. Culture building, GameStop. That's your opportunity. If you don't do it, I will, assuming COVID ends. I'm not really going to, well, actually, I might do it. That sounds fun, really. But imagine if you went to GameStop and they had a gaming area with video games, card games, board games, and you were going there to party and hang out and have a good time with your friends, building culture. They can still sell products. They can now sell impulse items, and they can make money off memberships and gaming events. Not the most lucrative thing in the world, but you combine that with a digital presence, something like Steam, an online gaming portal, then I think they've got a real opportunity to make some money. Maybe they'll do it here, but I digress. Let's keep reading. They say, shares of GameStop have skyrocketed more than 1,200% since Wall Street Bets first piled on January 11th. Their overwhelming bullishness has fueled billions of dollars in losses for short sellers. Now, my friends, let me explain something to you. these hedge funds, Wall Street, those who use the market, in my opinion, to manipulate and steal from your retirement funds, oh, they're in trouble. They're in so much trouble, and it is so glorious. I'm not into suffering of anybody, but it's about the little guy, okay? Now, I'm sure there are people who can correct me if I'm wrong. My general understanding of a short sell is there's like long calls, there's short sells, there's buying stock. So when you buy a stock, when you buy a Bitcoin, you buy anything, you're hoping it goes up in value. So if I buy one share of GameStop for, say, $10, because I think GameStop's going to pull through and become more valuable, people are going to rush to try and buy that stock because the company is going to go up in value and they're going to generate more revenue. And then I'm not sure exactly how GameStop works, but essentially you get dividends on some stocks. So you might actually start getting money out of this. So you're thinking for $10, it's worth it. Well, a week goes by, the company succeeds. Now that share is worth $20. So then you say, great, I sell it, $10 profit. A short sell is my understanding, and guys, again, correct me if I'm wrong, where you basically are lended shares. So you say, hey, lend me your share to sell, and then I'll pay you at a later date. So I borrow your share, sell it to John for $10, and then I wait thinking the share is going to lose value. So I make $10 off that sell. Then a week goes by, and the share goes down to $1, and I laugh, and I say, hey, remember that share I borrowed from you? Here's your $1. Congratulations. So it is a bet that a stock will fail. Now, the person lending that share is essentially making a bet the stock's not going to fail. So when the short sell, here's the crazy thing. If the shorts, look, if you spend $10 on a share and then it becomes worth $1, you can only lose the value you put in. Short sellers, on the other hand, are in very serious trouble because I borrow a share from you. Let's go back in time to start of this fiasco with GameStop. I borrow a share from you to sell for $7, thinking GameStop's going to crash. Then I'm going to sell those. Then I'm going to pay for those shares to you for $5 when I sold it for $7, so I make a ton of money. Where's it happens? I borrow your share, sell it to John for $7. Uh-oh. Now the shares are worth $10. Now I've lost $3. Okay. Well, I'll wait a little bit. Maybe it'll go down. Then Wall Street Bets comes into play. These people go on the forum and say, F you, everybody buy. I wake up one day and the share is worth $300. I just lost $293. And now I'm going, yeah, because every day that stock goes up in value, I owe the dude I borrowed from. There is a near infinite bottom. So apparently these hedge funds are set to lose billions of dollars. Some of them might go bankrupt. And these short sells has the people on Wall Street Bets saying, do not let go. Keep buying. Again, no financial advice. All right. Or any shares of GameStop or anything like that. But it looks like Wall Street Bets going for the kill. Figuratively and corporately, literally, I guess. They want to destroy these hedge funds. They want to destroy them. And they post in the forum about how these are people who are exploiting you through the media with corrupt allies and media lying to you. And they think it's happening right now. So I hope I gave you the gist of the story properly. It's very, it's not super easy to completely understand. But they do mention at Business Insider that Wall Street Bets has done this before. Options-obsessed members have boasted about trading everything from newly bankrupt car rental giants to now delisted Chinese cafe chains. They're particularly big fans of electric vehicle stocks. Tesla enjoys unique enthusiasm on the forum. It's amazing. Well, check this out. Melvin Capital, hedge fund targeted by Reddit board, closes out of GameStop short position. Check. This is amazing. Okay. So apparently, I don't know where they bought in, like $6. Oh, man. They tried shorting it when it was, at $6 or something? And then they sold out their position at $90. For every share, that would be $84 on top. Imagine if they had 1 million shares. Apparently, they had more than that. But hold on. This may be a trick. Let me read. CNBC says, Melvin Capital closed out its short position in GameStop on Tuesday afternoon after taking a huge loss. The hedge fund manager told CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin. Could he be lying? GameStop's hedge fund's most hated stock was targeted by an army of retail investors who marshaled forces against short sellers in online chat rooms. In the Reddit forum Wall Street Bets, more than 2 million subscribers, rookie investors encouraged each other to pile into GameStop's equity and call options, creating massive short squeezes in the stock. CNBC could not confirm the amount of losses Melvin Capital took on the short position. Citadel and Point72 have infused close to $3 billion into Gabe Plotkin's hedge fund to shore up its finances. Oh, man. On Wednesday, Squawkbox, Sorkin, and Plotkin told him that the speculation about a bankruptcy filing is false. GameStop shares have more than doubled this week alone to nearly $150 a piece, driving its January gains up 685%. The stock was worth just $6 4 months ago. Amazing. Shares of the brick and mortar video game retailer gained about 60% of Wednesday's pre-market, trading about $93 after popping more than 100% in earlier future markets. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's in the pre-market right now. I'm recording this before the opening. I think it's like $300 a share. So let me break that down for you. Let's say these people did get in short selling at $6, thinking it was going to go down and they were going to make money. Now it's at $300. That's a lot of money to lose. I don't know. Maybe this will result in another like 2008 style market crash, or maybe this is the people's revenge. It took some time, but the populists people found their power on Reddit. They say GameStop was the single most traded name in the U.S. stock market on Tuesday, topping Tesla and Apple, even though they're 81 and 233 times larger in market cap terms, according to Deutsche Bank. They're now saying on these forums, they want this to break Amazon's market share. GameStop, and people who held GameStop shares, who are probably like, well, I don't know where this company's going, are probably crying with joy. They probably sold out a long time ago. Now, there is a bottom to this. Look, I'm not an expert, but I imagine it's still like a game of hot potato. If you personally buy into this, again, I'm not telling anyone what to do. It's not financial advice, but if I wouldn't want to do this out of fear that if I put in, say, $300 right now, then what? Tomorrow, when these hedge funds are destroyed, and then people are like, that was fun, and they start selling, I lose that value. It's a game of hot potato. However, again, I am not giving anyone financial advice. My personal opinion, if you could spend money and it would send a message to the elites and the establishment, like if I could spend $300 buying a billboard that said, we don't like you establishment, I'd probably do it. You know what I mean? You lose the money, but because you spent it. So look, I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. And honestly, their concerns, people are outraged saying some of this might be illegal. Some people are saying it's not illegal at all. Some said a coordinated effort by an organization to destroy a stock and destroy a company is a certain crime. And then others have pushed back saying that actually a random forum where random people give their opinions on what they want to buy and why is totally legal. They're saying they closed out, right? Okay, check this out. This is Wall Street Bets. They say, warning, more manipulation. This is a post on the forum saying, call me a suspicious Randy MF. But right as GameStop started going down, LOI, they think that blip matters, CNBC announces Melvin has closed out. This was then followed by a ton of suspect baby accounts posting with brain-dead comments to try and create FUD. AutoMod cleaned a bunch of them already, but watch the F out. I think they knew people are thinking about taking profit once Melvin is out. Not only are there a lot of other shorts I'm calling effing BS on, CNBC caters to them, not us. They fed the media the fake story, put boys on the board, and took what's left of their dying fund to drive the price down and made their last stand hoping to reclaim anything. Well, guess what, Melvin? F you and eat my A on your way out. What they're saying is they're accusing these hedge funds of trying to manipulate the market to drive the price down, to convincing Wall Street Bets it's over, you've won, oh no, when in reality, it ain't true. I don't think Wall Street Bets cares anyway. I think these people are just like, dude, keep buying. Why not? So in their final, they've posted this 9 hours ago called the GME Endgame. The bull thesis, they say, to date, the GME play has been pretty simple. Buy and hold and wait for the squeeze, whether that comes in hours, days, or weeks. Try not to have a heart attack during the intermittent gamma squeezes. Keep your hands diamond strong during the manipulated downward spikes, and buy, baby, buy. It's rapidly becoming apparent that we will soon enter the GME endgame. Before you can come up with an exit strategy, if you're still on the fence, decide whether to jump in, you need to form an opinion about GME bull thesis without considering the short squeeze. Your thoughts on the bull thesis will dictate how you play it from here. So what they basically say is, based on the actual revenue times revenue, valuation, they think that GameStop should be around $64, but it was trading way down, like $6. So they're actually thinking it should have been way better, which is interesting considering these hedge funds were short selling GameStop. You see, what you need to understand is that there are people who play dirty games. They'll come out and say, I think, everyone's going to lose their money on Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin tanks, they buy it up. Or they bought shorts and then said, I think it'll tank. And then when people panic and sell, they make a profit. It's all a media manipulation game. So here's what they're saying. Exit strategy 1, just along for the ride, is that maybe you don't care about GameStop's balance sheets or the Cohen's planned turnaround. You bought a couple shares on a whim to be part of a unique movement. You don't intend to be a long-term GameStop shareholder, nor do you really care if you miss out on the highest peaks, so long as you make a few dollars and get to say you were part of the squeeze. If I were this person, what would I do? I'd pick a number between 0 and 3 that I feel represents my confidence in the retail market's current expectation for Cohen and GameStop, multiply it by 128. I'd submit a limit sell order for all my shares at that share price. I'm not a stock guy. I don't play games with stocks for the most part. Probably should have some, not really. So I don't really know what, I don't take any of this. Don't take my advice. Don't take their advice. You need to get your own financial people. Exit strategy 2, pants-essing fear. You got a handful of shares, maybe some options, and you're up big. You don't know much about squeezes or fundamentals or Greeks. And every time there's a dip in the stock gets halted, you S your pants and your fingers hovers over the sell button. But then the price jumps up and you wipe the drenching sweat off your face. If I were this person, what would I do? I'd sell all my options that expire sooner than 30 days at market open to reduce the number of pairs of pants I'm going through. Sure. And then it says exit strategy 3, diamond hands. You got bigger balls than most, and this isn't your first time dumping a significant fraction of your net worth into a company whose financials you've never looked at. You want to ride it to the peak if at all possible, and you want to impress the pants essers and the weak need with your maximum gains. You're okay with increasing your cost basis to squeeze out extra tendies on the way to the top. If I were this person, what would I do? I'd sell my weeklies on open tomorrow and immediately plow every dollar. Just keep buying, I guess. And then exit strategy 4 is U/deep effing value. If he's still in, I'm still in. This dude apparently posted like $20 million gains off this. Some people are saying that they think they want to drive GameStop to like $5,000 per share. That's what I've been seeing. And if that happens, a lot of people are going to get very, very rich along the way. And eventually some people will lose out some things. But what if that money just comes from the hedge funds who are forced to pay up, lose billions of dollars and declare bankruptcy? That could be the case as well, I suppose. I'm not a stock person. I can't tell you. All I can really say is I'm sitting here watching this as more of a stock layman, seeing what Wall Street Bets is doing, challenging the man, calling out the corrupt media, and I'm seeing populists left and right clapping and cheering it on. I'm seeing the Bitcoiners, the libertarians, the progressives, the commies, the socialists, the libertarians, the ANCAPs, the conservatives laughing as it all goes down. It's really quite amazing, to be completely honest. So I wake up seeing the news that it's getting crazier and crazier. Wow. They say, how high will it go? Who knows? 500, 1,000, 2,000? There's really no way to know. If you have the stones to get those max tendies, then you should focus on listening to the emerging news about Melvin Capital and Citadel rather than watching the price. Sell when they're covering and not a moment before. That will be the peak. Jeez, man. I don't know if they can do it. Can they really defeat billion-dollar hedge funds? They might. I've seen some statements that they may have already squeezed about like $10 billion and completely destroyed these funds. Maybe. I hate the whole system. I've always hated the system. I hate the idea that there are people who just extract value from the system. Like, there are people who have access to our resources who do nothing but buy a stock, wait on it, and then sell it. Now, to be completely fair, trading is fine. I'm not mostly complaining about that. What I'm complaining about is someone who buys a stock and then games the system so that you, the working class individual, buys into it. Then they claim it's disastrous. You sell and they steal your money. It's the name of the game, baby. Remember that famous story? It was like during the Napoleonic Wars. Some dude like rode on horseback to the Britain and said, "Oh no, Napoleon won." And then when all the stocks crumbled and collapsed, he bought them all up. Oh, I mean, actually, he lost. And then the stock skyrocketed and he owned them all. It's the name of the game, man. When you have access to the media and that power, then you can just rip off poor people. A regular working class, Joe Schmo who says, I want to protect my money. So they put $100 in a stock that's worth like $5 and they're happy with it. And they're like, now my money is outside of, the dollar. And then some guy goes on TV and lies or manipulates and says that stock is going to crash. Now this dude gets scared and says, oh no, I'm going to lose my money. And he sells at a 20% loss to this guy, to his friends. They make money off of you. They sell it to you at a premium, make you panic, and then buy it up when it goes down, and then it pops right back up. It's not too dissimilar to how they used to do blockbusting. You know what blockbusting was? It was when it's super racist. They would go to like an affluent white neighborhood, and then the real estate companies would buy a house, and they would move minority families in, and then they would go, oh no, look at your neighborhood. And then when everyone panicked, they'd buy up the houses for dirt, wait for the lease to expire for the minority family because people were racist and they were racist. And then they would own all the houses at a premium, jack up the price, sell them all again. It's disgusting. These people, look, I'm not trying to say that the hedge funds are racist or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that happened. So now think about what they're doing. You buy these stocks, they convince you it's going to collapse and you better sell and you're going to sell at a loss. They buy it up, jack the price up, and they make money off your back. Never been a big fan of how the system works. We'll see how things play out. The hedge funds seem to be in very serious trouble. So I don't know, maybe a lot of people are going to become millionaires off this and the money's going to get stripped from the hedge funds. Maybe Wall Street bets will keep doing this. Maybe the reality is the system is broken, because if you have to imagine if this keeps happening, things like this keep happening, the market just doesn't work. I woke up today and I have some stock, like some random, and I'm just like, it's like spiked straight up. And I'm like, what? I think people are now, because of this, desperately looking for companies that are doing bad, that are at risk of being shorted. And they're buying them up, hoping that Wall Street bets will announce they're going to go after the hedge funds who are shorting, these other markets. So they're talking about like AMC and Bed Bath & Beyond or something, or BlackBerry. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know. You do you. Don't take my advice. 2.8 million people on Wall Street bets. That is one of the most powerful systems we've ever seen. And it is going after these hedge funds, and it's going to revolutionize everything. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.